Hey y'all, hey, it's Bodhi, and I'm back with another channel message. First and foremost, I just want to say I missed y'all. I trust that we're all doing well and elevated during these delicious times. And I really appreciate y'all for, just your patience. And then still being here, tuning in on this frequency as I shifted through my storage issue, which I'm still transferring things, I'm still releasing things, but thankfully I do have enough storage to get y'all this download. I gotta release it, okay? I gotta give y'all this download. Oh my God, it was so powerful, collective. Spirit woke me clean out my deep sleep, okay? At about 3 in the rising, and it said, it didn't whisper, it said, ghostwriter, right? The voice was so clear and so present that I actually thought my dad was standing over me, talking to me in my sleep. That's how profound this voice was, the spirit's voice was, right? And I was startled, collective. I was startled to the point where like my heart was beating really fast. I was shooketh. Okay. I was shooketh, man. And I had to sit there for a moment. I had to, balance out my heart rate. I had to, balance out my breathing. You know what I mean? And once I realized what was going on, slowly but surely, I started to calm down a bit. And, it took me a minute, I'm not gonna lie, to like really tune into what this was, the ghostwriter, right? The ghostwriter. And so I said, oh my goodness, I remember the ghostwriter. And then this feeling of nostalgia just came back. Like this overwhelming feeling of nostalgia just came back, and I sat straight up, right? There was no way I was going back to sleep. I sat straight up and I said, you know what? Let me look on YouTube to see if the ghostwriter is on YouTube. And collective, when I tell y'all the ghostwriter is on YouTube, okay? It's on YouTube, y'all. For those of you, I want to say like late 30s to maybe about mid 40-ish, you may remember growing up watching a kid show called The Ghostwriter. And it was pretty much a group of urban children from all different walks of life, from all different backgrounds, okay, that kind of came together. They formed this group, okay, and they would solve different problems, or they would solve different crimes that was going on in their neighborhoods. And there was a ghost, okay, aka spirit, that would write to them and leave them different clues and help guide them as they were trying to solve these problems, right? Oh my goodness, y'all. When I tell you I watched that first episode, I was so engulfed in this first episode. It was like I was a child again, okay, watching The Ghostwriter. That show is what encouraged me to write. Okay, that show is what encouraged me to continue to read. You know what I mean? I remember making my mom go out and buy me the pin that you wear around your neck, because that's what they had in the show. It was like a big thing back then. Oh my God, I thought I was the stuff with that pin around my neck. Let me tell you something. But anyways, there was just this overwhelming sense of nostalgia as I sat there and watched the first episode. And the first episode was pretty much about how the kids was coming together to try to find out what happened to their homeless friend called Double T, right? He just kind of went missing. You know what I mean? There were so many different gems in that episode. I'm not going to go into it. Y'all can go look it up on YouTube, Ghostwriters, okay? Old school showman, right? Back in my day, all right? But oh my God. Oh my goodness, there's just so much to unpack here, collective. So y'all bear with me and let's get into it, okay? The very first thing, so after I watched the first episode, right, it was still about maybe 4-ish in the morning. I sat back down and I said, okay, I can't go back to sleep. So let me tune in, right? Spirit, why did you wake me up on this frequency? You know what I mean? What's the download? I had to tune in, y'all. I had to tune in. And there was so much that came with this. All right. So first and foremost, there were a lot of reminders in this download for us collective, especially as we're experiencing these times, where there's a lot of fear going on. There's a lot of things popping up, in our world and the world around us. Okay. The very first reassurance that came through, Spirit wanted us to know that Spirit is very potent now. It's very much alive, collective. The Spirit is very well, it's very healthy, regardless of what appears. Okay? The very first thing that I got, Spirit needed us to know that it is very potent, it is very alive, it's very well and healthy, regardless of what appears. That's number one. Number two, Spirit needs us to understand something, that the Most High, I call it beloved, right? The benevolent being, right? I call it beloved. The Most High is always in control, no matter what. And oftentimes, the Most High must shake things up just to get our attention, collective. The Most High will use those who are considered good, just like it will use those who are considered bad to carry out its will. This is so important for us to know. It's so important for us to know, collective, that nothing, absolutely nothing, will happen without God's permission, whether it's good or bad. I guess a lot of people is putting what's happening in the world today all on one person or something, right? And Spirit is like, don't they know that man ain't as powerful as me? Like, don't you know he can't do nothing unless I grant that will to be done? Like, don't they know this? Right? Spirit is reminding us that we're here to experience it all. We're here to experience the good, the bad, the ugly, the joy, the happiness, the admiration, the jealousy. We're here to experience it all. Spirit wants us to know that there is nothing that's happening or will happen that it cannot solve. And here's the caveat. Our faith in the Most High, not fear in man, is what wields that power forth, if that makes sense, okay? Our faith in the Most High, not our fear in man, is what wields it forth. That's how you activate that Spirit of God, is by pure faith, not fear in man. These are so powerful. These messages are so powerful. You understand what I mean? I mean, especially for our day and age. And I was kind of resisting the message because I'm like, no, Spirit, there got to be something else here. Spirit, there got to be something else here. I already know this. I already know this. Spirit is like, this is outside of you. This is bigger than you. I'm using you right now, and this is what I need you to communicate. Spirit doesn't want us to put our fear into no one man. Spirit wants you to know there's nothing that's happening on this planet that it hasn't already willed in. Nothing is happening without its permission. Spirit is shaking things up. It's using the good and the bad to shake things up to get our attention. The old world is crumbling, so a new world can begin. All right. The ghostwriter, right? Even though that show was called The Ghostwriter, the ghost was really spirit collective. It was spirit communicating and guiding the children to help solve problems that was happening throughout their community. But one thing that I didn't see was it just coming out of nowhere. They would call on the spirit. They would call on the ghost to assist them or guide them or to ask questions. They will call on it and it would show up. That's why Spirit is saying our faith in it, not fear in man, is what will will it forth. Okay? Now, on the flip side of this download, okay, I heard marching, I heard protests and things like this when I was in this download. So there will be more activist groups developing and coming together for a variety of reasons. Like I felt like Spirit was speaking through the ghostwriter because these children, these urban children that came together, these were little activists, really, okay, solving problems at their young age. Okay, they were utilizing their voice. They were utilizing their throat chakra and their solar plexus, their will to win, to solve crimes and different issues in their community. So there will be more activist groups developing and coming together for a variety of reasons, collective. Instead of people relying on the government, they're going to start relying on each other. Now, as some of you may know, one of the most committed, I would say, Black American activist, Jesse Jackson, passed away a few weeks ago, right? I heard about his passing, and I didn't follow too much more after that. But my mother told me today, actually, she said that, for weeks, right, ever since his passing, his body has been on tour. Right? They've been touring his body in different cities and things like that. But finally, this weekend, he's being laid to rest. Okay. And I'm recording this on Friday, March 6th, I believe, or 5th. Yeah, March 6th. So she said, finally, this weekend sometime, his body is being laid to rest. And again, this was one of the most committed Black American activists, Jesse Jackson, right? That's still living, I guess I can say. All right. Because they were all committed. But for some reason, collective, his transition has initiated a new group of activists. These groups would not only consist of Black Americans like how it was back in the 60s and 70s, but multiple nationalities will be coming together to solve common problems. You know what I mean? Like food shortages or like housing problems and things like that, right? Like people are deciding, okay, let's come together to figure this stuff out instead of relying and waiting on the government. Yes, yes, and yes. Now, I know I'm ahead of my time. I know Beloved uses me ahead of my time. So I'm not sure exactly when all this will come to pass. I do feel as though 2026, we will see some of it. We will see the becoming of these things, right? We will start to see these things at some point during 2026. But I feel like this is going to be like rolling out, man. It's going to be like a rollout over the course of a time. All right. But there will be different people who will start to rise up, collective, and activate their throat chakra and solar plexus chakra to create change. It's giving the civil rights movement, NAACP, the Black Panthers, but more of a multicultural type of version, if that makes sense. Okay, like this is not just Blacks doing this now. It's like multiple cultures are coming together to band together to create some kind of change. Yes. Yes, and yes. Now, you remember back in the days, right? Let me tell you something. My people, those people were not afraid to come together. They were not afraid to stand up and or fight for what was right. They weren't afraid to activate their voice to create change, but somehow As things started to get a little better in our world, we started to feel a little bit more equal. We've gotten away from activating our voice. Collective, when I tell you that season is ending, that season is ending. Yes, it is. Jesse Jackson's transition has somehow initiated a whole new group, a whole new culture of activists. And yes, I know that there's still different activist groups here and there, but these activist groups that I'm talking about that's going to be developing and rising up, these people are going to be developing and rising up for the world to see and hear them. They're going to be on social media, on the news, all these wonderful things. Yes. Yes. I see a huge push to protect children as well. Yes. A huge push to protect children. And for some reason, I'm picking up on immunizations. For some reason, okay? I don't feel like it has to be only that, but I feel like immunizations is a part of it or something like this, okay? But it doesn't have to be just immunizations, but there's a huge push to protect children, okay? Amongst other things, I see more protests in the world. I see many wars or acts of rebellion coming, collective. Yes. These many wars or acts of rebellion or these protests, whatever this is, again, this is not to instill fear. This is to initiate change. These are people that's coming to help rebuild a new world, a new reality. Oh my goodness, this is such a wonderful time to be alive. I don't care what it appears. It doesn't matter what it appears to be. This is a wonderful time to be alive, right? I feel like once we go through all of this shifting and mayhem and chaos and things breaking down and busting loose and busting open and all of this and that, oh my God, what a beautiful world is going to be for our children and their children. Like, my goodness. What a powerful download. Oh, collective, I feel so much better now that I've gotten this out. Thank you, Spirit, for using me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I trust whoever needs to hear this message for reassurance, for confirmation, will receive this message in the most divine ways. Until next time, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.